Okay, so we have a question here. All right. We got information about a bond. Okay. The par value or the face value. This is how much you'll be paid when the bond matures. 1,000 kwacha. Coupon interest rate 12%. This is whenever you hear the coupon rate, it's just the interest rate. Coupon payment, the actual interest payment, it's 120 kwacha. This coupon payment, how you get it is just the interest rate times the par value. Okay, so we just got 12%, 12% of the par value there. Okay, yes. Maturity 10 years. So after 10 years, this bond is going to mature. Current market price 1,150 kwacha. Okay, so this is how much the bond is selling for. Right, you pay 1,150 kwacha, then you'll be receiving interest payments of 120 kwacha for 5 years. Then on the fifth, oh, for 10 years. Then on the 10th year, they receive your 120 kwacha payment. You also be paid this 1,000 there per value. Okay? Mhm. Then you've got here what we call the call price after 4 years. What when we say a callable bond, it just means a bond that can be redeemed or paid off before it matures. Okay. The one who has issued the bond, if it's a government or if it's a company, it says, okay, this bond matures in 10 years. And you find during that time period, let's say after 4 years, the company or government who issued out the bond, they can call it off. Okay. They can just say that, okay, the bond will end here. All right. They'll pay you what you need to pay, and you don't have to actually wait for the 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 actual maturity date that was stated earlier on. Okay, the bond can be called off during its lifespan. Okay. Years to first call, 4 years. Okay. Required rate of return, 14%. Okay. This required rate of return. Also, sometimes you might see hear the word yield to maturity. This, remember this. This will always be your discount rate for the bonds. Okay. Yield to maturity or required rate of return. This is always the discount rate for the bonds. So now let's go through. Part A says calculate bonds intrinsic value with the annual compounding. Okay, so just want to find out how much is this bond worth. Okay, did I do the tabulations here? Yes. Mhm. So this is the formula for the value of a bond. Okay. Intrinsic value is just how much the bond should be worth, basic. Okay. As you can see here, the coupon, or this is the interest payment multiplied by this is the annuity factor. Okay. Because remember this, if you remember, I believe most of you took managerial finance. What's the definition of an annuity? Colleagues. An annuity is the same payment over the same period. Think of your salary like an annuity. Or if you're a landlord, think the rent that you receive, think of it as an annuity. Each month you're getting the same amount. Okay. So that's what an annuity is. Just Equal payments over the same period of time. Now here, for bonds, because these interest payments are going to be paid the same amount year after year. Okay, so that's why when converting those interest payments into a present value or multiplying it by the annuity factor, okay, the annuity factor, you're just converting those interest payments into today's value. How much are these interest payments worth today? Then this par just represents how much are going to be paid when the bond matures. Okay, you can even put here, let me just put maturity value. Now since the maturity value is a one-off payment, that's why we're multiplying it with that by this present value factor here, 1 plus kd to the power negative n. Okay, so as I said earlier on, the logic here is this: the value of the bond is the present value of all the future money that you're going to receive from the bond. Okay. Value of the bond is the present value of all the future money that you receive from the bond. And the future money that you're going to receive from the bond is the interest payments. That's why we're multiplying by an annuity factor. And the par value. Okay. That will be paid when the bond matures. Okay. So using that information, we already have our coupon. Our coupon is this 120 kwacha. Kwacha. Okay. Our cost of debt, our discount rate here is 14%. Our N, the number of years, 10 years. Okay. So we just substitute this information in here. All right. So it's like this. So here coupon 120, discount rate 1 plus that 14% we convert it into a decimal, so it's 0.14. Okay, colleagues, that's how I've got 1.14. Okay, I just said 1 plus 0.14. I converted the percentage into a decimal. Okay, as you can even see, cost of debt here 0.14 there. Okay, plus 1000, which is the maturity value, multiplied by 1.14. Again, here you're just adding 1 plus the cost of debt or your discount rate, which is 0.14 to the power negative 10. Okay, colleagues? So here for this tabulation, you start by saying 1.14 to the power negative 10. You get that value, then you subtract a 1 from it. Maybe let's do it in steps so that you are seeing what's happening. Okay, so you will say you're going to say 1.14 to the power negative 10. Colleagues, let's get our calculator so that should this question come, you know how to solve. Okay, you don't get stuck in the exam. 1.14 to the power negative 10. What value are we getting? 1.14 to the power negative 10. Let me do it here. That's 1.14 to the power -10. Are we getting 0.269? Okay, so we can just say 0.2697. Then you're going to say 0.2697. Then you're going to say 1 minus 0.2697. So even here, 1.14 to the power, it was going to become 0.2697. Then you're going to say 1 minus 0.2697. 1 minus 0.2697. 0.7303. 0.7303. Then 0.7303 divided by 0.14. Are we getting 5.216? When you do this division there, it should get 5.216 something. Then what you're going to do is this. You multiply 120 by 5.2161, and you're also going to say 1000 multiplied by 0.2697. Okay, 120 times 5.2161, you get 625.93. 1000 times 0.2697, you get 269.7. You add these two, and you get 895.63. Okay, this is the intrinsic value of the bond. Okay, 895.63. Any questions? Part 2. Is the bond currently overvalued or undervalued at 1,150? That's the market price of the bond. So the bond is undervalued. I mean overvalued, because it's supposed to be 895, but people are paying 1,150. So it is overvalued. Okay. Remember, intrinsic value, this is how much the bond is supposed to go for. Okay. This bond is supposed to sell for 895, but it's going for 1,150. So it is overvalued. Okay, colleagues? Any questions? Okay. The next part of the question is this. We calculate the bond's value assuming semi-annual payments. Okay, so semi-annual payments means in a year you're paid two times. The first payment after the first 6 months, the second payment after the next 6 months. So have you seen how the formula changes here? Okay. When there are semi-annual payments, this is what's going to happen. Okay, since when it's semi-annual, remember n equals 2. Okay. The period of payment is twice. Okay, so that 120 interest payment that you're going to be getting, it's now going to be split between 6 months. That's why we're dividing the coupon by two. Remember that 120 coupon payment which was given? You need to divide it by two. Okay. Or another thing you can do is just the interest rate. Okay, you can watch the other thing you can do if you don't, if you are not comfortable with dividing the coupon, the interest payment by two. What you can do is just this interest rate. Divide this interest rate by two, you're going to get 6%. Then calculate the new payment. Either way, the same thing is going to happen. Okay. Then the other adjustment is your discount rate. You need to divide it by two. Have you seen our cost of debt here? Divide by two, divided by two, even here, divide by two. Okay, so our discount rate needs to be divided by two. Okay. Then the time period has to be multiplied by two. So this is the trick that you shouldn't forget. When the bond they are when it's semi-annual payments, okay, the rates divide by two and the time multiply by two. Okay, colleagues? The rates divide by two and the time multiplied by two. Okay. So we're now going to calculate the value of the bond using this new formula. Okay, so let me just put this side here on the solutions here. Okay. Yes. So our coupon, remember it's 120. This is the interest payment you receive, you divide it by two. Our discount rate was 14%, so it's a 0.14 divided by two. Even here, 0.14 divided by two. Even here, you're going to say 0.14 divided by two. Okay. And then the time period, remember it's 10 years, so you say 2 times 10 here. Okay. Even here, you're going to multiply 2 times 10. Okay. Because remember, if you be paid twice a year, so in 10 years, you're going to be paid a total of 20 times. Okay. Then the interest that you're going to be paid in that year is going to be spread out. Okay. Between 6 months, 6 months. All right. Okay. So then this simplifies to this here. Listen. Then again, you just go through the normal calculations, get 1.07 to the power negative 20, which should be 0.2584. Subtract 1 from 0.2584, then divide by 0.07, you get 10.5940. And you say 60 multiplied by 10.5940 plus 1000 multiplied by 0.2584. Okay, you get 635.64 plus 258.4. And you add these two. Okay, and this is the value of the bond, 894.04. Any questions? So these are the two scenarios you need to know about for calculating the value of a bond. Okay, when with semi-annual payments, okay, and there's just annual payments basically. Yes.